Hey guys, what's up? I hope that you all been having a great week so far. I know that these couple weeks have been really hard on us, on you. And I hope that you are keeping yourself safe, that you are doing the things that you are supposed to do. I know it's tough right now for some of you because you have your parents with you now 24/7. They're on your back to get you to do your online classes, and which can be a challenge sometimes because we would prefer to go into the classroom and we can so that we can sit with our buddies, our friends, and we can at lunchtime we get to hang out with each other and we can have fun and go and play a little sports before back to school. I know the challenge. I know that can be hard for us, and even our summer. I love my summers because I get to go and camp with you guys and enjoy the fun and to share a message with you and just being us. So that has been put on hold. We are not too sure, or I don't think we will ever be having any camp this year, and that just broke my heart. But we're gonna make it. And seniors, my heart goes out to you because for 4 years you have been working hard and you have been waiting for that day when you will finish all your finals. You maybe have planned already what you're going to do for graduation, what you want for graduation, your gift, your graduation gift, and even the big time prom. No dates, nothing at all. This virus has just put everything on hold for you guys. So my heart goes out to you. So tonight, I want to really encourage us tonight. The Bible study is going to be a form of encouragement. We're going to look at a man who had all the right to get upset, to get angry, to get mad because he was in a place where nobody want to be. I don't want to be in prison, do you? No, I don't want to be in prison. He was there. But instead of this man get angry and upset, this man found joy no matter what. And the same can be for us in our present situation. That no matter what, we can still have joy. So we're going to look at the book of Philippians. And we're going to deal with chapter number 1. Let me give you a little rundown of how we're going to do our discussion tonight. We're going to have 2 sections. The first section is going to be from 9 to 11. And at the end of that section, we're going to have 3 discussion questions. The second section is going to be from 12 to 14. And at the end, we're going to have 3 also additional discussion questions, and I will let you know how we're going to proceed from that. So let's get right into it. As you know, a few months ago our lives were turned upside down. No one expected that what is happening right now would have taken place. We were planning for the summer, but because of the coronavirus, things had to be on hold for a moment. But whether it's an airborne or unexpected events in our lives, we can able to grab hold of that unshakable joy that God offers to us. And that joy will help us, guys, to see things in God's perspective. And as we're going to look at Paul, what Paul has to say to the church in Philippi, so that we can be encouraged by that. And even though our situation might be different from Paul, God's word never changes. His word still applies to us today. So let's look at the book of Philippians. Let's go back a little bit history a little bit. We know that the book was written by Paul, and it was written by Paul on one of his missionary journeys. And Paul was in Rome, in prison, while he wrote this book. And he was writing to encourage Christians. And through that book, you're going to find that joy and rejoicing mentioned about 16 times. So guys, I would encourage you to, in your spare time, not spare time, make some time to read the whole book of Philippians. And underline those joy and rejoicing words when you see them. And through that book, you know that the theme for the entire book, it's joy, rejoicing, rejoice. One of my favorite verses in that book, can you tell me, can you guess? Philippians 4:4. What it says. Yes. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. That's one of my favorite verses in that book. And it's easy for us to rejoice when things are going well with us. When we are on the mountaintop, it's easy for us to rejoice. But how about when life is going downhill? Do we continue to still have that same joy? Paul did. And if Paul did that, we can do the same, guys. Don't you believe that? Yes, we can do the same. So we're going to look at our first section, which is from verse number 9 to 11. So we're going to read Philippians 1, 9 to 11. Do I have a reader who's going to read for us tonight? No readers? Well, I guess I will have to do the reading. So here we go. I'm reading from the New Living Translation, and it says in Philippians 1, 9 to 11. You with me? I pray that your love will overflow more and more, and that you will keep on going in the knowledge and understanding. Let me just pause it for a moment. As I was going through my study, I came across that word overflow. And a chorus came to mind when I was going to Sunday school back in the days when I was in VBS and all of that, a long time ago. And it started about fill my cup and let it overflow with joy. That chorus was really nice. Do you want me to sing it? Okay, let's go ahead and let's sing it together. If you know it, sing along. Fill my cup and let it overflow. Fill it up. Fill my cup and let it overflow. Fill it up. Fill my cup and let it overflow. And let it overflow with joy. Do you know that song? Man, that song was one of our finest chorus back in the days. I've never heard it in the US. I don't know if it's a Caribbean song or something, but it's a really good chorus. So the word overflow, Paul is saying, let the love overflow. The idea of you putting an empty bucket under a pipe, and you open that pipe and you leave that pipe and you go away, and you forgot that you put on this pipe and you came back, and the bucket is still overflowing with water, and unless you stop it, you're gonna keep on going and going and going. And that's what Paul is saying. Let that love keep flowing and flowing and flowing. Don't make it stop. Just let it keep going. Because we can turn off that love sometimes. Especially when we are giving the love that we are not getting back. We tend to want to stop the love. Paul says no. Paul says let it overflow. He continues to say that you will keep on going in the knowledge and understanding. Why? For I want you to understand what really matters. So that you will live pure, blameless lives until the day of Christ's return. Why Paul wants you to keep loving? Why Paul wants you to grow? Why Paul wants you to have knowledge and understanding? So that you can live a pure and blameless lives. That's why Paul is writing in these verses, that we will understand what really matters. He went on, he says, may you always be filled with the fruit of your salvation, the righteous character produced in your life by Jesus Christ. For this will bring much glory and praise to God. Guys, why do you come to youth group? Why you are here? Because you have nowhere to go? Because you're being forced? I hope not. I hope you're here because you want to do things that are pleasing to God. You want to be like Christ. I am in ministry because I want to be like Christ. I love ministry and I want to be like Christ. But being like Christ is not going to happen overnight. We need to grow. Paul understood that following Jesus meant constant growth in order to become more like Christ. And for you and I to be like Christ, we got to grow. The same way that you guys will go out in agriculture classes and you will go and you will plant a seed or plant a plant, you're expecting that plant to grow. You're expecting in a couple of days that you're going to see leaves start going up, the trees start coming up. You're going to expect some kind of a growth to take place. In nature, it says that anything living is growing. If it isn't growing, that means it is dead. So ask yourself, am I growing in my faith in Christ? Am I growing in the knowledge? Am I growing in my understanding? Want to know more about Christ? So Paul says, I want them. He said, Paul prayed that the Philippians continue to go closer to God, that God's or Christ's character would be produced in their lives. And he tells you the reason how you can grow. As we grow in our walk with God, we begin to look at things differently. Don't you think that? When we start studying the Bible and we look at men like Job, men like Paul, they went through a lot of stuff. But they didn't give up, did they? No, they didn't give up. Job said, after all that went on, he says, I know my Redeemer liveth. One of my favorite. When we start growing Christ, we can look at things in our lives, and with God's wisdom, we can understand what really matters. So some situation we encounter can be incredibly frustrating. But if we can grasp their actual importance and examine them through God's viewpoint, God's perspective, then we can have a proper perspective ourselves. Let me ask you a question, guys. Would it be more amazing to be what is it writing? What would you be doing right now? I would want to be on the beach with my family right now. I want to plan a summer vacation with my family and go on the beach and enjoy. Spend time with them. Play with them. You might want to go and play football with your friends, volleyball with your schoolmates. But right now it's not possible because of COVID. Right now, that is not our reality. Our reality right now is that we are stuck. We have to follow guidelines. But what can we do? What can you do, guys? Now that you're in this situation, what can you do? As a Christian, as an individual, what can you do? Here are some things that I think that you can do, that we can do. Number one, we can choose to become annoyed and impatient. Or we can ask God, what can I learn from living under these circumstances? Or we can say, how can I grow spiritually as a person, as a Christian? That's the thing that you can do now. You can ask yourself these questions, answer them, and say, what can I do now? Now I'm living in this situation. So now that brings us to our discussion questions. And I want you at the end of these questions to pause. To pause and to answer them. I want you to just take a moment. Maybe find somebody that you can all discuss these questions together. So question number 1. Is your current situation bringing you closer to God, further from God, or neutral to God? Am I growing, or I am decreasing, or I'm just stagnant? I'm just there. I'm just coming here. I don't know. I'm just here. Second question. What aspects of your character are being challenged right now? Maybe patient. Maybe your compassion. Maybe your love. Maybe your burden. Maybe your manners. Maybe what aspect of your character is being challenged right now? And lastly, is your love for others growing right now or decreasing? Is your love for others growing or decreasing? So take a moment and answer these questions, and then we'll come back to do our second section. Welcome back. I hope that you had time to do your second section, and just want to remind us that we are studying joy no matter what, that we can have joy in every circumstance. And we are looking at Paul while he was behind the bars. So now we're going to look at Philippians 1:12-14. Any readers? So I guess I will have to read. So let's go. Philippians 1:12-14. And I want you to know, my dear brothers and sisters, my youth, that everything that has happened to me here has helped to spread the good news. And you want to know what happens to Paul, you're going to look at the life of Paul and know how he treated Christians and how he became a follower of Christ. For everyone here, including the whole palace guard, knows that I'm in chains because of Christ. And because of my imprisonment, most of the believers here have great confidence and boldly speak God's message without fear. Joy no matter what. So let's look at where Paul's situation. Paul remember what he was in prison and he was writing. And Paul was not just an ordinary prisoner, in and out. No, he was a prisoner who had prison officers following him everywhere he went. He was on lockdown, you can say 24/7. And as we read, he was there for preaching Christ. He never knew if he would be released from prison or soon face death or live another day. His life was in limbo. Paul was just living one day at a time. Doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And you and I are in the same predicament right now. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But I hope that they're working on things to get things better for us so that we can get back to normal. So what if you were in prison, guys? What kind of letter would you have written if you were in prison? Think about it for a moment. I'm in prison. I'm sending out letters. What would be the content of those letters? It would be reasonable for us to think, wouldn't it be, that when we read through Philippians, you're going to find Paul fussing, that Paul was worried, that Paul was filled with anger, that he was trying to seek his way out, ask for help, that Paul was maybe complaining about how bad the food was, how stinky the place was, how unfair it is to be here. He didn't do anything morally wrong or commit any crime except to preach Christ. But when we read that, we didn't find that in the book of Philippians. What we find is a man different. Paul's life, even in a dirty and lonely jail, was a testament of his faith in God. Because of what we're going through, because of this pandemic, we feel like we're in prison, don't we, guys? You feel like you're in prison. You know, we cannot go where we want to go. If we go in the public, we have to wear a mask. We got to stay 6 feet away. You know, and you guys now, I don't know, but some of you guys had to be, you can't be out before passing 10 o'clock. You got to get inside unless you have a reason to be out. These things, and you feel like we are trapped in a prison, in our own house. We can't do the things that we want to do because of the city. All of us right now, we are living in limbo. We don't know what will happen next. But I have great news for us. Our situation is temporary. It won't last forever. And Paul lived with a strong faith in God. And because of that, our scripture says, guys, believers, they had gained confidence. They were boldly proclaiming Christ. Nothing didn't stop them. And what we're going to, guys, they shouldn't stop us from sharing your faith with your schoolmate. Now is the time for you guys to really share your faith with your friends. Why? Because, you know, we can't go to church anymore, we can't hang out. You can use your Facebook page and you can call up a friend and you can share your faith and how God has been good to you in this time. These Christians, they were bold in sharing their faith, in sharing the gospel. You and I, we can do the same thing. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nothing take your joy away from you. So that brings us now to our final part of our second section. And now we have some discussion questions. I want for us to really think on these questions. Share them with your friends. Share them with your friends. Have a discussion with your classmates. Call up your friends and ask them about these questions. And you all can have a dialogue over the phone, over Skype, over Facebook, whatever you all want to use. So here are the questions that we have. What about your life? First question. What about your life right now makes you feel like a prisoner? What do you not like about your situation? Number 2. How can you find joy in your current situation? What opportunities might be present? Number 3. Who in your life encourages you when you are going through a tough time? What do they do to encourage you? Take a few minutes and you answer this question. Call a friend up. Use these questions and have a dialogue this week. Maybe some guy out there, some of your classmates are looking for someone to share their faith with them, to encourage them to this time. Maybe you may be the one guy, you don't want to share that with them. Why not call them up tonight or tomorrow before the week is over to find out what they are going through? So I hope you will take your time and do that. So as I conclude, I just have one more follow-up question, and that is for all of us. And the question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm down, I'm not there, 10 means yes, I'm doing it. How difficult is it for you to really embrace the idea of experiencing joy no matter what? Let me repeat. How difficult is it for you to really embrace the idea of experiencing joy no matter what? So answer this question on a scale of 1 to 10 and see where you are and see what you can do to improve. If you're below where you're supposed to be, see what you can do up a notch one more. So if you're number one, see what you can do, or what can you do to do number two, and so forth. Well, that brings us to the end of our Bible discussion together. I hope that you have been encouraged and that you would not allow anything to steal your joy no matter what. I'm looking forward to talking with you soon. May God bless. Thank you.